Cancer. Welcome, and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. Happy birthday to you, June and July Cancers. I hope that June is and has been treating you well. We are going to be talking about July, of course, which is crazy. Going to shuffle these a million times. These are my favorite feeling cards. I love the way that they shuffle. I love the way that they feel. I also love the deck itself. It's such a beautiful interpretation of the journey through the tarot. I also have the guidebook here. I will definitely be referencing it because, like I said, I think it's a beautiful interpretation of the journey through tarot. And a shameless self-plug, I also carry this deck and the guidebook in my Etsy. I sell them as a set. They generally are sold separately, and I'm just like, no. I think they should be together. It does come with like this tiny little thing of a guidebook, and it's not enough for me. So anyway, like I said, shameless self-plug. That's in my Etsy store. If you feel a connection to them and want to work with them yourself, there's a link to my Etsy in the description. There's also a discount code down there, only for my YouTube friends. So enough of that. Let's talk about you. I'm just going to shuffle, like I said, a million times until the feeling comes over me to stop. Generally when the cards start popping out like that, and we're getting close. So looking for a message for Cancer for July. Cancer, July. There. All right, let's see. We have the Three of Bowls or the Three of Cups, the Apprentice of Pipes, or the Page of Wands, the Nine of Bowls, that actually was one of the cards that flipped out, or the Nine of Cups, Temperance, the Ace of Bowls or the Ace of Cups, and the Four of Pipes or the Four of Wands. And then we have the Apprentice of Stones or the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So there's definitely something beginning here. Since we have two pages. It's like, something is kind of starting to come together, or it will. So, we'll go through each one of these cards, of course. We start with the Three of Bowls or the Three of Cups. And generally this card talks about community and celebration. There could be more than one person involved in your situation. We also have this figure. It's almost like there's like this offering being given here. Let's see. It says, whenever others are gathered around me, I will celebrate our lives. In groups, in front of others, is never the time to criticize another, but to praise them. In this way, all are lifted up. As we share that which is we like and appreciate about each other, our bowls are filled with heavenly grace. Let us be thankful together for all that we have been given as human beings on earth in this time. Let us share our bounty. Let us share our blessings. Only through sharing does abundance come. Yeah, I mean, like I'm just kind of getting this feeling of like, if you have been trying to do something on your own, there may be like help coming in, or you may be seeking help from, like maybe your friends or like a support group around you. I also feel like it's interesting that it was like talking about not criticizing somebody like in front of other people. This could even just be, I mean, it could be that, of course, right? But it's almost like I get this feeling that it's like not criticizing or like judging the help that you are offered. It's like, don't turn your nose up, or, like, there's too many things going through my head, like not biting the hand that feeds you type of thing. So it's like, if there is assistance being offered to you, but maybe it's not being offered to you in a way that you want it or expect it, or, there's this energy of like, finding gratitude versus criticism. Like being grateful for what is being offered versus critical of it not maybe looking exactly as you had hoped that help would have looked. And it's kind of like, we have this temperance card or blend. And that's what temperance talks about is, it's the blending of energies. It generally talks about alchemy, right? And there's this level of patience that goes into and is kind of required with temperance, because I always think about tempering chocolate. Like there are certain steps that you have to take in order to properly temper chocolate. I don't know what those steps are. I've never tried it myself, but I've seen it done enough times on the Food Network. But it's like, if you try to rush through any of those steps, or even if you try to skip them altogether, your chocolate is going to be ruined. It's not going to be properly tempered, and you're just going to have to start from square one. So that's like the feeling that I'm getting from this temperance card, is that it's almost like delaying something, or it's like, maybe this Three of Cups. Maybe you think that I'm trying to think of like it, like maybe you think that it's not the process that you want to take. Maybe you feel like it's not the steps that you want to take. Like I said, whatever, like if there is help coming in, or if there are other people even involved, like, and it's like, no, I have my mind kind of set on something, and I see this as being an extra step to my goal or whatever. this to me has this feeling of like, it's not an extra step. And if anything, it's like that step up that you need. And it'll even maybe get you, like, you know, by kind of compromising here, it'll get you where you want to go even that much faster. We have the Apprentice of Pipes, or the Page of Wands. And it says, I open now to the message that comes from within. I shall be brave in carrying out the Spirit's call. This time I light my pipe, having come a long way, another leg of my journey complete. I take time here to pause and renew my vision. I seclude myself so that my inner words shall be clear. Then I will take up my pack and walk again, knowing my way. My body now is a channel, an instrument of light, and wherever I go, whatever my talent, I shall inspire others by my manner of being. I open to the flow as I feel it within me. It's interesting because the Apprentice of Pipes, it's literally like they're like pointing at the Nine of Bowls. And the Nine of Bowls is the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. So it's like, you know, having your sights set on this. And that could be what's causing this Three of Bowls. But also, I mean, you know, like this could even be wanting to build like a community in some capacity. And there's, you know, like just kind of this hyper focus on that being the thing that's going to bring you fulfillment and purpose. Because, you know, like with there being such a focus with this person on this, you know, like their back is turned to the Three of Bowls. So it's kind of like, you know, there's no kind of like compromise. But it's kind of, it's like, you know, like this was saying, if you can figure out a way to work together. And, you know, I mean, this would only make sense if there are other people involved, whoever they may be. Like maybe everybody is just kind of having a hard time getting on the same page about what this Nine of Cups is. This could even be, you know, like almost trying to like enforce your will about what your Nine of Cups is. And you're almost trying to get like other people on board with that, and other people are like, we're not quite seeing the vision. Because again, like even this, you know, this imagery here, this person is offering, you know, there's this offering here. There's these other two people down here. I mean, there can be three people involved. Doesn't have to be. I mean, you know, it could be family. It could be friends. It could be, you know, partner. It could be your community in general. It could be your business, whatever, right? Like whatever it would be. But then there's this figure out here. But it's like, you know, it doesn't, I don't necessarily get the feeling that it's like moving closer. It's not necessarily accepting this offer. Right? And that's why I'm saying, like, you know, especially with this Page of Wands and just the position that they're in, it's like, here's my vision. This is my wish fulfillment. Like, this is my dream life type of thing. Look, right? Like, accept it, you know, like I said, like almost trying to force your will on to whatever this being is. You know, I mean, this could be help. It could be advice. It could be whatever, you know, like it is, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a specific person or being, but it's like, I said, you know, just kind of really trying to force your will there. And we have the Ace of Bowls here, which is the Ace of Cups. And that talks about, you know, like your cup being full. There's this like rejuvenation that comes from this. And then we have, you know, this kind of spirit up here. I mean, that can be a higher power. If you connect to a higher power, it could be your higher self. And, you know, both of these figures seemingly have their bowls full. So it's interesting that it even comes out next to blend, because we could even kind of make this assumption that whatever is being blended here by Temperance is being drank by these people. So like I said, you know, this alchemy that goes on with Temperance, it is the blending of energies. And that does take time to do sometimes. But it also, like I said, it takes compromise. It can't just be one person getting their way. But it's also like, if there are more than one, if there's more than one person, and if you're both in this energy of, you know, like, I'm going to enforce my will this way, well, I'm going to enforce my will that way, then it's kind of like, you know, at this kind of like stand still. But whatever this Temperance, like whatever this is that's blending, right? Like if there is a way of compromising and blending the goals together, right? And I mean, you know, like that is what compromise is. Like there is somebody that is going to have to give an inch, right? Not a mile, but an inch. But it's like, you know, then everybody is going to feel like they won. And it's interesting too. I mean, I know that these are coming from the same suit, but there's this one figure out here. Maybe this is the figure that has the majority of the control here, because this figure is this, you know, I'm seeing it as being the same person. So, you know, they're kind of trying to make this offer, right? And then this figure back here would be this figure. And then we have this older woman here. So it's kind of like, you know, there's maybe more than one person that is just kind of trying to figure out how to make this thing work. And it also feels like, you know, because I can also assume that this figure is the same as this figure here. And there's this feeling that whatever it is, like whether it is a person or a higher being, you know, energy, it wants what is best for you. And they have an idea of what they believe to be best. And if they're the ones that do have the upper hand or do have that level of control, then, you know, because I'm looking at this Ace of Cups and just how, you know, like the facial expression and how, you know, it's really just like, I want to make sure that you are okay. And this is how I'm able to do that. And this is how I'm even willing to do that. And then we have the Nine of Bowls or the Nine of Cups. And we see the two figures that were on the 3 and on the Ace, right? You know, like they're rowing up to this island here with these other people. So again, you know, like that's kind of why, like, I was getting this feeling of, you know, like if maybe you feel like there's extra steps being added, but it's also kind of like I said, with the Temperance card, it's almost like it's like it's helping you step up or step into the right direction. Regardless, if it's an extra step, then it's an extra effing step, but it's still going to get you where you want to go. Because if you didn't have, like, if this person, whatever it is, like if it doesn't accept your offering, if it doesn't kind of bend to your will, then, you know, like you're just going to kind of be like in the same position unless you figure something else out. But it's kind of like, you know, the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. You're getting to where you want to go, even if it means that the journey looks a little bit different. Because then we have the Four of Pipes or the Four of Wands down here, which talks about, you know, I mean, building, right? There's like a stable foundation. It's almost kind of building what your vision is. Wands or pipes are wands. So it's action, communication. And again, you know, like even with that community aspect, because there's still two people in this card. In this card, there's two people in the boat, but there's at least 2 adults and 1 child. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So, I mean, you'll get there. And it almost, you know, with the Four of Wands being about a foundation and security, it's almost like, again, you know, this process and it being a bit longer or different or like a roundabout way of getting there, it's almost like it also created more stability. And then the Apprentice of Stones. And then the Harvest Lodge of Stones. So, you know, like you're able to plant those seeds and harvest them. That's what the Harvest Lodge of Stones talks about. Nourishment. I feel like for Cancer, I feel like for the last few months, there's just kind of been like this like stubborn, and I'm not saying that in a bad way because I am a Taurus. I know all about, I know all about being stubborn, and just kind of immovable. But it's like, you know, again, like I said, like there's been this energy of, you know, like I said, like trying to enforce your will, and it just does not seem to be working. But, you know, there is, you know, like this other way of doing things, but it's like you see it as being, like I said, just a roundabout way, or it being a path that you don't even want to explore or even consider. But it's like if you did consider, and if you did take that path, it'll get you where you want to go faster than what's happening right now. Because what's happening right now, it seems like, is just stagnant. It's not moving at all. It's not doing shit. And it's almost, again, like it's just delaying what is possible. But it's like, you know, if you could figure out a way to, for this offering to fit your parameters, but also if whatever the other thing is, because the Temperance card does talk about blending energies. So there's more than one energy coming in here. So if there's a way to figure out how to make this Nine of Bowls kind of come together where it meets your parameters and it meets the other parameters, the others' parameters, then it'll, like I said, it'll get you where you want to go faster. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Cancer. Bye.